Oh, what happened?
I laid my headset down.
Did you spill it?
I was getting ready to go finish filling that up, but I done hit a button. We live now. How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing better now. I saw that spoof at the beginning.
You're doing better now. It's been a long day. It's been a long weekend.
Hey, Bruce, you were right, man. That was saliva. That purple flower. You were right. I scanned it afterwards. Went through there. So you were correct. That's pretty awesome. See, I don't know all these flowers. You guys are way ahead of me on the flower curve.
I don't know all of them either. That's why I got that little picture of this app. I can scan it and it'll tell me what it is.
And
salvia?
Salvia. Yeah, that thing. Salvia, not saliva. But yeah, so we got that around here a little bit, evidently. But I never saw that flower over here before. Never saw that plant. So that's new and unusual. But so what you been doing today, Lee?
Finishing setting up my bee yard number 4. Got it pretty much set up. I need to go back and my support blocks under the center parts. Yeah, they were a little crooked, but I was wore out by the time that I got that done. So I'll go back tomorrow or the next day. I'm about to bring that up on screen so everybody can see. And I don't know what that flashing on the top there is. Let me see if I can pull that to another screen here.
Yeah, I'm seeing flashing on the follow. Hey, is that stuff that Miley Cyrus was smoking? That's
salvia. It can be smoked, LaGrange says.
Yeah, I think that's what Miley Cyrus was smoking. Everyone thought she was high on weed, but it was supposedly salvia.
Let me bring that picture back up again here. That's what I got set up so far. But the 2 center blocks, my supports, I need to get those straightened out a little bit.
Try to keep it from sagging a little bit in the middle.
Yeah.
Looks good, though.
It ain't too bad.
Tell you what, today I uploaded that video, and it's been up for 3 hours, and YouTube is still trying to process the HD version of it. And it's only in 1080p, so I don't know what the heck YouTube's got going on today, but they're messing it up.
Unless a whole people just uploading today.
I know, they're messing up my mojo.
I know as far as uploading, like I said before, I can upload a 15, 20-minute video in like 38 seconds. And then I just have to wait for YouTube to process. Sometimes it might take 2 or 3 minutes. Sometimes it takes 20 minutes.
Yeah, it's crazy. A lot of people uploaded videos today. I saw Natalie put a video up today.
I haven't looked at none today. I've been to 4 different bee yards plus town.
Curtis, the junior beekeeper, put one out today. I saw he posted one up. Who else posted? Ian Stepler, I think, posted one up today. Oh, there you go. So that tree that we thought was maples is sweet gum trees. So that's what Tennessee Mountain Bee said. Johnny Walker's selection of different Mustang Ranch and Chad 4L or Mustang Ranch and Bees. He posted one up today. Let me see if I see any more beekeeping videos. Galloway Lights uploaded turning log into deep beehive box.
Jim Hamby that comes in here, he put one up a little while ago, adding some swarm traps and checking other swarm traps.
Brooklyn's honeybees. He put one up earlier today. Dry Cut put one up today. So maybe that's why YouTube's slow.
Everybody trying to upload at one time.
Everybody's uploading beekeeping videos today. Houston Shelton put one up today about a fire he had near his swarm traps. Let me see who else. I put one up today. Bohemia Bees, yeah, Cayman Reynolds, yeah, everybody's putting them up today. Must be that Whistle Thicket put one out today.
LaGrange said Bohemian Bees and Cayman put some up too.
Black Mountain Honey put one up today. Who else? I saw somebody else had a fire near their hives.
Hey there, Bobby.
Hey, Bobby, there's a gosh, I saw the notification. It was a long time this morning. What's her name? She doesn't have many. Butts Bees. I don't know if you follow Butts Bees.
Mm-hmm.
She had a wildfire in her apiary. So Cajun put one up 9 hours ago.
I don't know if you follow Fuzzy Nuggets, but I believe they added one. It was either last night or today one. Kids installing some packages or nukes in their hives.
Sawmill Charlie put one up about 9 o'clock this morning. About single brood chamber management episode 1.
Might have to check.
Bob Benny uploaded one today with Seth. Barnyard Bees put one up today. Jason Crispin put one up today.
Sounds like a beekeeping.
Put one up today. So a lot of beekeeping. Richard Knoll put one up today. So a lot of beekeeping videos came out today. South Carolina Happy Bees put one up. I guess that was at midnight last night.
Yeah, it was last night.
A lot of them. Hold on, I gotta give my mom medicine and my wife. Thank you. Yep. So lots of people was putting up videos today. So that's good. Good. People are getting close to the season. I wish my mine would have been processed in HD. Y'all just have to go back and watch it later when you can actually see something. 360p, I think, is what it's running at right now.
LaGrange said they usually watch his videos at 2 times speed.
Too many bee videos. Yeah, it was. Today was just one of them lazy Sundays, man. I didn't feel like doing really anything today. I think it was just a matter of, all the lives. We didn't do live last night, which we usually do a Saturday night live, but just tired.
I was wore out yesterday. 5 o'clock, I was dozing off already.
I went and did some Uber yesterday. They gave me an extra $100 for doing 10 trips, so I went ahead and did 10 trips and ended up with $200, and it took me about 4 hours and came home. So,
ain't bad money there.
Yeah, I'll take $50 an hour. That's the Lee type money. That's like running a crane type money.
I ain't gonna even mention what I make a day. I done pretty decent yesterday at the farmer's market though. It wasn't as good as last weekend, but I did get rid of 23 jars of honey.
Yeah, mine's kind of fell off. The first couple of days I had the sign out there, people were stopping and honking. I should have just parked my truck out there with a couple cases in the back of it, and then it would have looked like somebody was out there selling honey, But other than that, I just got the sign in the yard, and they got to kind of stop. And I was telling you right as we were starting, I was thinking about maybe getting some packages this week. I don't know. I have to see if they got them. Their website is kind of confusing because it gives you dates, but then it says same day pickup if you order before like 2 p.m. So I don't know if it's something you can order, like call them and say, hey, I'm going to come over this afternoon and pick them up or what. So I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe not. Just depends how I feel. I'd rather get a bottling tank.
I know I made an order today from Blue Sky Bee Supply. One roll of 500 tamper-proof labels. I'll go over the top of my jars here. Price ain't bad. $37. Shipping $17 for the one item.
Wait a minute. You said it's how many labels?
500.
And you said it's $37.50?
$36.95, $37.
All right, so let's say $37 divided by 500.
Yep.
7 cents, 7.4 cents per label. And then you said it was how much for shipping? $17.50?
$17.63.
So you got to take 37.
I think they charged me like $4.95 shipping all the other times that I've ordered.
So that's $54.63 divided by 500 labels. That's almost 11 cents a label. Is half again. Half again.
Yep.
So you're going to be making splits this week, Bobby? That'd be good. That'll be good. Hopefully I can. I know Wednesday, we're supposed to have good weather, kind of good weather. Definitely temperature is going to be good. It's going to be 81 tomorrow, 84 Tuesday, 84 Wednesday, but cloudy, which is Wednesdays when I usually do the Demeray. And then Thursday is supposed to rain, but it's supposed to stay in the 80s and high 70s all week.
We look at 81 to 85 all week, but we're supposed to have rain Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
It's the rain that's killing us right now.
Yeah. I went to all four of my bee yards today, and the number 2 yard, I got one over there. I'm going to have to go back tomorrow afternoon and bring another super. They already got one super full and starting to cap it. And I got
one of my deep boxes is almost full. That's why I under supered it last time. Oh, why is this thing, man?
I noticed when I was leaving the house this morning that our privet bushes are already getting flowers on them now.
See, I don't even know if privet was in my yard, I wouldn't even know it was there. I don't know what it looks like. Does it have to have full sun? Is it that kind of flower or that kind of bush?
It's got quite a bit of sun to it.
Or is it something that grows like in the middle of the woods somewhere?
It'll grow along the wood line, but I mean, some people use it in the yards. It's kind of like a.
But is it it's a white flower, right, or is it yellow?
It's white.
So it looks, if I'm not mistaken, it looks kind of like goldenrod, only white, right?
No, it's an actual bush, not just a stalk.
Oh, it is a bush. Okay. Yeah. See, I don't know about these flowers. I need to level up on that. It's a huge bush. That's what she said.
I didn't see that.
That's why we can't have nice things, guys. That's why we can't have people on here. But yeah, that's where I am not so knowledgeable is on the plants and stuff. So I need to work on that for sure. 61. Hey, for you, that's warm though. Like holly, but with tiny leaves. Okay.
I don't know how good you can see that picture there.
Well, if I flip over to YouTube, I probably could see it better. Let me see. All right. Well, maybe I've seen some of that around, just not in my yard.
Yeah, it'll be loaded with little bitty white flowers all over it.
I got some trees that got little bitty flowers all over them. Big trees.
Yeah. They'll make a lot of real light colored, really sweet honey out of that.
That's probably where my super, super light honey came from. Those trees with the little itty bitty flowers on them.
Yep.
That's probably where that came from. Well, what do they call it? Yopond holly?
That one I don't know.
I've heard people talk about that too.
Bruce said you smell it before you see it.
Yaupon holly. Oh, it's spelled different. It's Yaupon.
Tritone said they got their first maple pollen of the year. See,
Y'all
this is a yellow tree here. Like
see.
kind of heart. Well, I wouldn't say much heart, but kind of a heart and an arrow-shaped leaf. And then a little bitty flowers stream down from it.
I think
That's
isn't that a bush or a tree?
It's a tree.
I think I have something like that out there.
That's our biggest flow is tallow.
We got a lot of them Bradford pears and stuff, but I don't think the bees like Bradford pears. I don't know.
I've heard different. I've heard some people say they like it. Some people say they don't. We got a bunch around here, but I've never seen the bees on it.
Let's see. Yaupon holly. Yaupon holly is a bush. Apparently, it's spelled Yaupon, and it's got little red berries all over it.
Now I know our blackberries. They started blooming out about 2 days ago, and there's little white flowers everywhere up and down the roads.
Yeah, that was on my video. I got those up and down. The vacant lots next to me, they're full of them. I got them in my front ditch. And
my number 2 yard, the guy has a bunch of cultivated blackberries and wild blackberries, and they're just abundant everywhere there right now.
Well, we got the link. We dropped the link if anybody wants to join us. We're just hanging out and talking. Not probably going to be a real long one tonight, but because Lee's got to work in the morning.
Yep, 4 o'clock come early.
Oh, I'm sure they are raising brood in there. For us, I mean, we get a few cold nights, but I don't think we get too much of a brood break here at all.
We don't either. They'll slow down a bit, but they never actually stop here.
There's always some brood in there. But yeah, we just doing a few things. I really need to go out there. And I keep telling myself I'm going to take all that scrap metal I've got, just the screen and all that stuff I ripped off the porch, and throw it in the back of the truck and take it down to the dump. So maybe that happens this week. I'll probably, if I took maybe 2-3 truckloads, I could probably get some of this stuff cleaned up. But I've got my trash wheelbarrow that's the watering hole for the honeybees. So I don't know. I need to clean that out though. I need it for other stuff. But ever since I saw bees going in and out of it drinking water, I just been leaving it there. But I might borrow it for a couple of days, and then it's raining later in the week and fill it back up again.
Yeah.
For them.
I'm hoping sometime this year I'm going to run a new water line out to my shed, and then right out the back of the shed is my bees. I'm going to put a little faucet out there on a automatic timer, and about 5 o'clock every morning they'll turn on for 1 minute, wash a little trough area out, fresh water every day for the bees. I
thought about doing that right by my AC, just putting a piece of that vinyl gutter down, cap it on one end, and let the condensate from the AC that comes out just drip in there.
That'd probably work.
And, maybe put a few little rocks in the bottom or something so that it'll hold it in place a little bit, and they have something to stand on. Might work. We'll see, especially when it gets hot and the AC's running all the time.
I'm going to take the little plastic chicken feeders.
Yeah, that's what I use my opener.
Yeah. I'm take that and then put some rocks in it and let the water line run into there.
That'd probably work. Probably work out. They I know they like it for a open feeder. At least, well, I mean, that's all they got. So they got to either like it or not eat.
Yep. All of my feeders I got right now, as far as pollen feeders, it's the 4-inch PVC. You got a 4-inch cap on one end and then a 4-inch 45 on the other.
Why would you? Well, my wife brings me food when she knows I'm on a live stream. I don't understand, but okay.
She only brought one plate. What about me?
Here, I can split this 13 ways for everybody. 14 ways. Chicken salad sandwich on toast. So, yeah, I mean, I wonder if they get something out of the minerals, like from the rust and all that. I don't know, because they like the rusty cans and all in that wheelbarrow.
About to say it gets good iron.
Yeah, yeah. It'd probably be my luck. I iron poison my bees.
I actually went to town. I had to go to Home Depot today to pick up that new 30-foot telescoping pole that I ordered. And I meant to go by Tractor Supply. I was going to get the salt block and then the mineral block and put it in all my bee yards, and I forgot all about it.
They, my mentor puts a salt block out, but he didn't. He says they go after it, but he didn't say like how often or anything like that. So
I figure I'd stick one out there just to see how good they hit it. If they hit it and they seem to be doing good or a noticeable difference, heck, I'll put it in every yard every year. And they ain't but a couple of dollars.
Yeah, I need to go to Tractor Supply too. See, that's just all my thing to do. But every time I have stuff to do, then it's like, oh, I got to do this with my bees, do that with my bees. And then on days when I'm not doing something with my bees, I just don't feel like messing with that other stuff. I got a lot of stuff to do in the honey house. Like if my electrician friend still hadn't shown up. So you might see Electrician Bob real soon. I mean, I've run wiring before. I know how to make the loops and everything for the switches, but I was just going to give the work to a professional that would, like to make a little side money and do it. But if he can't get over, I'll just wire it. The only thing I've never wired 230. So I don't, again, that brings me up to my bottling tank on 230 or just go without a heater in it,
If it was up to me, I would suggest going with the warm. It's going to make modeling a lot easier.
Maybe I need to look at YouTube how to wire a 230.
It ain't much to it. Generally, you got 3 wires. You got a black, a red, and a white. Some of them you'll have the 4th, your regular ground.
It's just a different wire that you run.
You got 1 extra hot wire in it.
And that's probably tied both to the same side of the breaker, right?
Now you'll have in your breaker box, it'll be on the same breaker, but on your plug side, you'll have 1 hot on the left, 1 hot on the right, and then the bottom will be either neutral or your ground. And then some of them have both.
I'll see. That'll be a whole new experiment there. This running 110 is not an issue. I mean, because really it'll all be no power to it until I tie it into the fuse box.
Yeah.
But I don't know all the regulations. So anything I do would be what do you call it? Unregulated, there would be no regulation. It'd just be a double pole breaker. Use that. I don't even know if I got a double pole breaker spot in that breaker box. That's the other thing, because it's got.
As long as you have like 2 spots open, you put a double pole on there, and it automatically connects both sides together on the same breaker.
Well, I know. Well, see, that's the thing. I've got in the breaker that's on the outside, the breaker box that's on the outside, it's only got 1 slot on the bottom of each side on the bottom left. So I don't know if that's enough.
You may have to move something from one side to the other side. That way you got 2 slots open on the same side. Put a double pole.
All right. See, another reason why the electrician was like, well, we could just put a small box on this side, and they know, right? But I don't know. We'll see. 110, I could actually for what I'm doing, I could probably pull. There is electricity in the honey house, but you got to flip a switch on the inside to turn it on, right? So technically, I could go inside and just take that switch out and wire, go up to where the ceiling fan is and just junction off of that to a switch back to the ceiling fan, right? So it just bypasses through and uses whatever breaker it was using in the house. But
It depends on what kind of wiring you got and what size. If you pull in too many amps, you
I
will
got
need.
1960s wiring in this house.
I would suggest a dedicated line then.
Dedicated line.
Yep.
Yeah. See, just more money.
Because you pull too many amps on one line, you take a chance of overheating and then maybe damaging some of your new equipment too if you ain't.
Yeah, I don't want to do that for sure.
Power.
I could. Well, it's funny because the little pump house that I have in the back that I always park my truck by, it's got 2 plugs in it. It's got 2 receptacles in that pump house that I run extension cords. That I've been running extension cords into the porch before I put the glass doors on there to power the refrigerator and my computer that's out there, and also what I use for my oxalic acid vaporizer when I drag it out to the yard and all that. So I don't even know what breaker that's on. It's never popped a breaker. The Robbie's. Hey man, you keep flashing it up there, he's gonna have to start paying us for.
Hey, I'm open to that. I do like the system though. It works good.
The little Robbie's.
I got an inverter that I plug up to my vehicle when I go to the yard. 750 watt inverter. Run a 100-foot extension cord on it.
And it runs like a champ.
Oh yeah, I ain't had a problem yet with it.
I've got the ProVap, but I don't have that big of inverter, so that's probably why it didn't work for me. It was a smaller inverter.
Yeah,
and
usually whatever ampere or whatever watts your device you're pulling, you want something at least double that size most time. Say you got a 1,000-watt inverter, you don't want to pull over 750 watts off of it constant.
All right, so Making Dreams B said add a small breaker box outside next to your other one. See, that's something I don't know how to do.
Some of your older breaker boxes or your main breaker box, if you got poles coming off the bottom, you could tie in and go to a separate breaker box.
All right, so there's an old breaker box in the house and then a newer one outside. And the newer one outside, yeah, you're like, I've called him. And twice he said he's coming and twice he didn't show up. He's like, oh, something came up. And, I thought typically what it is, they got too much side work, right? They're just putting you off till they got a second to come out there. But, that's the next thing. I got to get the power. I got to get it wired up before I can put sheetrock or something up on the inside of it. Right. So that's the next thing. I've got to get that done and figure that out.
Yeah, talk about people showing up. I was trying to call a guy down the road from me. He'd been doing a lot of work in my yard, cleaning different things, moving stuff. So I was going to see if he wanted to go make a little money helping me set that new yard up today. And he wasn't answering text, wasn't answering the phone. I had to go do it by myself. I saved money.
That's my whole life. I got to do it like myself every day. Every day. Nobody's coming out to that bee yard, even though it's right next to the house. But yeah, I got to get, I definitely have to get the porch wired because everything in there runs off power, right? The steamer, that runs off power. The extractor runs off power. Now I've got extension cords that I can run from outside, which I've been doing to run stuff, but it's just one of those things. I'm kind of like, when I start something, I got to get it done. It's just like, got to get done, which is why it didn't take that long to wrap the porch and all that. Cause I was just like, I'm going to need this much stuff. And I bought it and just knocked it out. And the outside looks good. It's just the inside looks like just studs that have been wrapped on the outside.
Most of the time, I try to get all my stuff done in a timely fashion, but I have been known to procrastinate quite a bit often too.
Well, not to mention, the longer I wait, the hotter it's going to be outside, which is the hotter it's going to be in that building when you're trying to work.
Yep.
So
Well, that's what I said. I told myself last year I ordered all my extra supers for this year, all my new boxes, and I said, while it's cool weather down here, I wouldn't say winter, but while we have a little bit of cool weather, I'm going to get all my paint done while it's comfortable. I didn't do it. I waited till it started getting warm and then painted.
well, and I keep looking at this stack of boxes that I treated with the Eco Wood, and now I'm like, well, I got an extra gallon and a half of that stuff I painted the honey house with. I'm like, might as well use it. So I don't know if I'm thinking about popping some paint on those too, and even though I don't have to at this point, but I've been thinking about it. And then I think about waxing my frames.
Yeah.
And I just don't get around. Well, I keep walking. Every time I go out the door, I see my little crock pot there with the blocks of wax sitting right on top of it. I'm like, yeah, I really should start that up and start melting it down so I can go ahead and do some of these frames. And I'm like, I'll do it later. Never get to it. Just never do it. And now what's going to happen is I'm going to need them. I'm going to need to use them. And I'm going to be sitting there. I'm going to walk by them. And I'm just going to have the regular wax that came from the factory on them.
Yep.
So I was like,
that's what I've been working on here, waxing all these. I'll wax a couple, take the boxes out and bring more boxes back in and start waxing them.
Well, my thing is I got cases of frames in the kitchen. I've got eight cases of frames, which is I've got 288 mediums and about 300. Now I got more than that. Yeah, about 300 deep frames, I guess, that are pre-waxed. But like you said, don't know how long they sat in the warehouse. Don't know, any of that stuff. So I've got more frames than I've got wax to frames. I'm pretty sure, when it comes to that.
I think I got about 25 pounds maybe of wax left.
Yeah, I've got about 3 pounds of wax. That's what I got. But I've got a lot of comb out there that's sitting that I could probably harvest some more and melt some more down that needs to be melted down anyway, probably. But it's just one of those things, procrastinating. And hey, James.
There, James.
I see it every time you join a room. It doesn't matter what stream you're on, where you're at. Hi, from Michigan. I like it. You must have it on a Word document. You just copy and paste it. Copy and paste it.
Welcome anytime.
Yeah, man. Somebody join in. Let's talk bees or something.
I'm about to drop that link again. Anybody want to click on it and join in?
I'm going to take a bite of this sandwich.
While I'm thinking about it, and we got a few people on here right now, I'm finally up to about 94 subscribers right now. So I'm hoping it won't be too much longer, hit 100. And I kind of decided to do a little thing for a 100 subscriber giveaway.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if anybody likes these hive tools right here. Got the little hammer on one side. Kind of an all-in-one tool. I've got 2 brand new ones in a pack here. And I've also ordered a brand new Dadant 4-inch by 10-inch, the taller smoker that they have. You can stuff more fuel in and they last longer. Once I hit 100 subscribers, anybody that subscribed to my channel, Kodiak Farm, and leaves a comment on the video, and hopefully they're on the live the night we do it, I'm going to spin a wheel with everybody's name on it. First pull, I'm going to give away the smoker and a hive tool together, and then we'll spin the wheel one more time and give away a hive tool.
It's pretty good, man. You're going to make me have to go drastic.
Yeah, I figured it. I mean, I'm only at almost 100 subscribers, but hey, they got people out there trying to help and support me. Hey, I don't mind giving back to them.
Where am I at? I don't even know where I'm at right now for subs.
Look like about 1,600.
Yeah, I've got It says 1,676. So I'm 24 away from 1,700. So I probably need to do something at 2,000 if I get to 2,000. Don't know what yet, but 2,000 would be a. Oh, okay. He just you just got another sub.
Yep.
So we have a giveaway soon.
Hopefully, it might be either Tuesday night. I ain't 100% sure yet, but either Tuesday night whenever we do our live, or after I get to 100 subscribers. Hopefully, one day this week.
Mike Bomb Bruce.
Yeah, I came on just to change my name. So see you guys later.
How's it going, man?
Pretty good. How you guys doing? I like my chances at winning that one of those hive tools there. 2 out of 100. That's not bad.
Yeah, 2% chance. Well, that's only 2% of the subscribers, but it's got to be 2% of the people that actually comment on the video, right?
Yeah.
So you might have a 50% chance if it's like my comments.
Yeah, with the rate that I lose hive tools, that'll be good. It'll last a few months.
Yeah, I know. I could never find one.
I got the 2 in the package. I got 2 here. I got 1 in the car, and then 1 in my honey house. I lose them all the time, so I have to buy multiple.
Yeah, I finally found one after the winter killed all the grass in my yard. It was only sticking out by like a half inch. I don't know how I didn't hit it with the mower.
Yeah, that's what I said. I'll probably find it when I run over with my riding lawnmower and tear everything up underneath there.
I lost one day, and I searched for 3 days before I went back to the bee yard. And I said, heck, I just grabbed one of the old kind of silver and red J-hook tools, went to the yard, got out there, and it was sitting on top of one of the beehives where I left it.
Oh, yeah. I've had to resort to using screwdrivers and ratchet strap buckles and all kinds of things just to open stuff up.
I'm waiting for the day I go out there and pop an inner cover and it's laying like across the frame, sitting underneath it.
Yeah.
That'll probably be the next thing that happens to me.
Well, I don't know if y'all paid attention on one of my videos a week or 2 ago. I really forgot something. I went through the hive, done everything, pulled out some splits, put the cover back on the hive, went to walk off, realized I left 2 supers sitting on top of the hive next to it that I never put back on. So I had to pull the cover back off, put my supers on the hive, and then put the cover on. I left the whole super off with bees in it and everything. Didn't even realize it. That was a rough day.
What's the weather like up there for you, Bruce?
It briefly snowed today, actually, on my way home from work, which I couldn't believe that. And then it's about 45 right now, but starting tomorrow, it hits the 70s, and I don't see an end to that. So, tomorrow it's going to be like 62. I'm doing an abscond out of a tree tomorrow at a golf course. That'll be my first removal, and then Tuesday it'll be in the 70s, and then it pretty much stays there, at least.
That'll be good
for the rest of spring.
We've been having warm weather, and last night it got in the high 30s, and then I was like, "What's going on?" And then tomorrow it's supposed to be back in the 80s. So
I have a feeling all the swarm calls are going to all come at the same time on Tuesday, all morning and afternoon. I'll burn up a whole tank of gas on Tuesday, Wednesday. Luckily, I have those days off.
Getting your free bees.
Yeah, getting some. I mean, and what usually happens, I'm chasing those bees around so much that at home, they're all just hanging in the trees here till I get home, or they take off before I get here. Because I couldn't do any splits yet because it's just been too cold.
I haven't had it.
I have no idea what's going on in my boxes.
Usually I'll get a call or somebody will contact me on Facebook and say, "Hey, I got this in my bushes or whatever. Can you come get it?" And I haven't had any this year. Oh my gosh. Look here.
Yeah. Real quick before he comes in, I don't have the smoker in hand yet. It's on order. But this is going to be the smoker that I'm going to be giving away here.
Damn, he's uptown. Look at him.
Oh my God, look at that thing.
I got one just like that, actually.
Yeah, that's the one I use. I like it.
That's the one y'all see sitting on my one of my hives that I never use. It's just sitting back there as a prop in my bee yard.
Don't have no smoke coming out, huh?
No smoke coming out of it. once in a while. I get more crap about that on my videos. Well, if you spoke to them a little bit, they wouldn't be so mean. Yeah, but have you ever smoked a Connie and it's still mean even when you smoke it?
Every now and then. I'm going to go ahead and bring LaGrange down here. Look like he's got his audio on, just not the camera.
Hey.
Hello.
How you doing this evening?
Doing great.
From Canada.
Can you guys hear me?
Oh yeah.
Oh, good. Yeah, I'm from Canada. Canada. Sorry, English isn't my first language, so sometimes I garble my speech a bit.
Oh, that's all right.
So French is your probably native language?
Yeah, it is.
So what was the temperatures up there for you in Quebec?
Right now 3 Celsius. So let me do a quick conversion.
3 Celsius.
Yeah, it's just above freezing.
So probably 36, maybe
37.5 Fahrenheit.
Yep.
Yeah, that's how low it got last night here, but it rebounded pretty good to the 70s today. So when is your great thaw where you'll be able to start keeping some bees up there?
Well, it's gonna go up to 61 on Tuesday, so I should be able to at least do a live check and give them some pollen patties.
Okay. Are you? I know you've been dedicated watching our streams and stuff. I know if it's like a lot of people that are like, man, I can't believe it's sunny out there. The bees are flying. You're all in the bees. And
not much fun right here.
It's a test of your patience.
Yeah, when I see Europe, I like Richard Knoll. Everything's flying. It's really, really. How do I say it? Not frustrating, but anxiety. No, that's too strong. But I'm a bit anxious to get back to beekeeping. Let's just say.
It's just jealousy for me. That's all. I'll just say it. I'm flat out jealous. Stinks. You guys stink for getting to do that on.
Well, it's we got our other issues though down here. Well, you got them there, so it's funny. You live in Pennsylvania, and you have some hive beetles up there, and then you got we just lost him, and then you got Fred Dunn that's in Pennsylvania, and he says he doesn't have hive beetles where he's at.
Yeah, he's on the other side of the state, but yeah, I don't know.
And then Brian's in Ohio, which is, he's on the eastern Ohio, which is close to Pennsylvania, and he's got a few up there. So I don't know how they're going, but it's one of those things where, what would you say your biggest hurdle is up there? Just the cold?
In Pennsylvania? Well, for my areas, the fall flow is really bad. And I mean, winter is just, I'm used to it. I've always lived around here. So I would say, yeah, definitely for beekeeping is in the fall, not having enough for the bees to forage on. But that's just my area because I'm in the farmland. Like really, really bad, just monocrop.
What's the major crop they produce up there?
I mean, in my area, it's soybeans and cattle corn, I guess. What
corn?
else?
I mean, corn has pollen, but it's like not very nutritious for the bees, right?
That's what they say. They really pack that in, though. Man, they just come back so heavy with it, and they do throw a lot of it away in the springtime. There'll be piles of it outside, but they must do something with it.
Now that's interesting you say it because I've always heard that bees won't move pollen. So you say they just eject it out?
Yeah, they just bring it out and dump it in a big pile right out front. And even like maple pollen, once its dandelions start blooming a lot and fruit trees and stuff, they'll dump all that brown maple pollen out the front too.
Just so they have more room for the other pollen.
Yeah, it's weird. It'd just be a whole big pile of it out front. I mean, not all of them, but some of the colonies will have a bunch of it out there.
So LaGrange, what is your like season like up there? I mean, what's your actual beekeeping season?
Well, it usually starts at the end of April, May, beginning of May, and lasts until like the beginning, end of July, beginning of August. So it's pretty short but extremely intense. Um, like I've mentioned a few times, there's basswood or linden, depending on how you want to call it, and it just produces an insane amount of nectar.
Right. Well, I mean, I guess because of the season being condensed, I mean, obviously the vegetation in your area has to all basically bloom, and then it starts getting colder, right, in a shorter
Yeah.
amount of time. So I guess, I mean, they all have to do it around the same time for the most part, I'd imagine.
There's basically no dearth unless there's a drought. There's no dearth over here. It's the season's just too short.
Yeah, we have a pretty good dearth starting around the end of June, and then later on in the year when we start getting goldenrod, then it's over for a short fall flow. But in the summer it just gets so hot that it burns out a lot of stuff. The grass will turn brown, everything burns out, and so where we do have a longer season, obviously, almost you could say all year, with the exception of a few cold spots where everything's just stretched out. But in the summer it's so hot, like nothing blooms hardly. It just burns out, and so we go through dearth periods.
That's how
Here,
we'll be July and August. It ain't nothing for us to get 100, 102 here some days. And I mean, everything pretty much just dies out.
You can take a shower, dry off, walk outside, and as soon as you walk outside the house, your clothes will just be drenched from sweat because the humidity in the air and everything. So
102
definitely.
degrees Fahrenheit and 100% humidity.
Oh yeah, it can reach 100 over here as well. Except, like I said, Canada's a frozen wasteland, 6 months a year. So
I've been up there. My cousin lives on the Indian Reserve by Rice Lake, which I don't know it's closer to I don't know if you know where Roseneath is, or I think they're closer to Toronto. But I've been out there in the wintertime when I was stationed in Rhode Island when I was in the military, and we went up through New York and up to Canada, and the lake was literally frozen solid, and we drove our cars out on the lake to the fishing shanty that they use in the summertime to go fishing. But all we did was drink beer and fry fish out there and have a good time in the middle of the winter. But yeah, it's definitely a different climate from down here for sure.
Did you guys buy fish and then bring it out to cook it out there? Or?
No. They had caught the fish. It was in the freezer.
Oh,
They pulled it out and fried it. But yeah, they don't. That's one thing out there I've never seen. I went hunting on the Indian Reserve there, and I went rabbit hunting. Okay, so I shot. I mean, it must have been a hefty garbage sack full of rabbits. And I'm thinking, oh, we're going to, skin these rabbits and they're going to eat the rabbits. And my uncle tied a knot in the bag and threw it in the bin. And he's like, yeah, that's just population control out here. So went up there groundhog hunting, a bunch of different, stuff when we went in the spring. But yeah, it was, it's different, down here. Most time they say they kill stuff to eat it. So, deer, whatever. I mean, there's people that go raccoon hunting and possum hunting, I guess. All kinds of stuff. I haven't seen anybody scrape any roadkill, but but I'm sure it probably happens down here somewhere.
So LaGrange, how many halves are you running?
right now, 5. I started my first year in 2020. I had 6, but it was my first year. I lost everything to swarming, basically. I didn't recognize my hives were all overpopulated. So when I started over again in 2021, went to a new place, bought four. There was so much nectar, I had to make a split. I took like one frame of brood from each hive, create a split, gave them empty drawn comb, and bought a queen for the fifth hive. So as of the beginning of last month, all five were still alive.
That's good.
I'm planning to go raise some queens this summer and go up to 15. Maybe start a second bee yard.
I just finally set up my fourth bee yard today, and I called the place where I'm getting some bees from to go ahead and fill that yard. It's not going to be this coming weekend, but the following weekend, my bees will be ready for that yard.
Why isn't Bobby on here? We gave the link to everybody. Anybody can join. Yes, so I mean, it's just right now I'm kind of in a holding pattern. I've already done early splits that kind of was tragic, and they didn't pan out. So it weakened my colonies a little bit, and I still tell myself I'm waiting on them to catch up, but some of them are actually storing nectar up in a single. I broke them back down to single deeps, and I've got a single super on most of the colonies. Couple of colonies like the Demaray, it actually has one of the two deeps they had on there where they were basically packing it full of honey. So I removed the two supers last week and put the initial two brood boxes down, and then to just put one super on top of them. So hopefully they start working on that and packing that full. But I'm trying my best, and it's been a patience thing for me, because my first year I learned not to go in my colonies that often, try to limit that. And because when I first got them, I was going in there like every day, and then did way too many splits and just nuked myself, right, by keeping the colonies too weak. And last year I let them try to grow and be stronger. So now I'm trying to find that middle ground in between them, to doing expansion and not letting them swarm so Bruce can come pick them up.
Hey there, Casper.
Whenever someone at the bee club tells me, my bees swarm, I think they're swarming, I'm like, where do you live by?
Yeah.
I go drive it through.
Just go over, just find out where the apiaries are.
Yeah, I know where they all are. If they're out there in no man's land, they're mine, baby. I'm just scooping them up.
Just put a trap on the property next to it, right?
Yeah, do a knock on their door. Keep the bees out of your roof.
Right.
I'm curious, how did you guys get started in beekeeping?
Oh man.
Go ahead, Lee. I'll let you start that one. I had a buddy that I was working with. He had a couple of hives, and he was always talking about it. And every day, somehow, we ended up on the subject of bees. And now I realize why beekeepers love talking about bees. But he kept on talking about it. So I finally went on YouTube, checked a couple of videos, and kind of piqued my interest. And I jumped in head first. And been going ever since then. And this is my third year.
Well, mine actually is similar to that, because I did have a guy that I worked with. He was like a quality control guy that would come into the pharmaceutical lab, nuclear pharmacy, if you will. And he would come in, and he was from North Carolina, and he said he had bees on his property. And we kept saying, hey, why don't you bring some honey down? And he would never bring honey down. So it probably, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago, it piqued my interest, but I didn't have any place that I felt I could keep them until I had to move back here. And then once we moved back here, then we had property. So went ahead and started putting them out there. And, I think I'm up 23, 24 colonies right now, something like that. Nowhere near what Bruce has.
Um,
How'd you get started, Bruce? What made you
never-
say, I want to be a beekeeper?
well, I've loved bees and wasps and ants, every type of insect ever since I was real little. So I always wanted to keep bees, like always. And then I just kept putting it off once I kind of grew up, and then I had kind of a life-changing event that made me realize I should stop putting stuff off anymore. So then I just said, this is the year I want to try to have bees, but they didn't really have too much on YouTube then. So I went to the store and bought a bottle of honey and called the number that was on the back and went to visit some guy that had bees, and he didn't want to show me anything. There was no club or anything. So I just read a ton of books, some old books from like the 1800s and early 1900s, and just got my first bees in 2010, and then learned about swarm catching and doing cutouts, and then my heroes like JP and 628 Dirt Rooster, who one of them you had on the other day.
All of them.
That's where I learned everything.
JP came on.
Yeah, so that's how
by
I got
phone. JP came on by phone.
Oh yeah. I couldn't believe that. I was sitting there like, oh my god, wait till he drops that link. I'm scared to hit it. And he never even dropped that thing, man.
Well, I was going to see. Originally, it was just going to be Mr. Ed, and then I'm friends with Randy on Facebook, so I sent. He had been on one time before, and I sent him the link. I said, hey, if you got a second today, Mr. Ed's going to be on if you want to join in. He said, well, I don't know if I'll be able to, but if I can, I will. And it was about, 50 minutes into the video. And I was like, well, I don't think Randy's going to be able to make it. So would you be open to, having some people in here and talking with you? And he's like, yeah, sure. And by the time we got done with that, Randy was in the waiting room. So then we brought him in, and then it just kind of went out of control.
Yeah, I was here for the whole thing. I watched the whole thing.
And then of course, then we had Yappy on that, and then it was like, it blew my mind because we weren't expecting anybody but Mr. Ed and maybe Randy Dirt Rooster to come in, and it just kind of went out of control. And then we had
I'll never forget what Mr. Ed said, though, when you asked him what's the biggest advice you would give to somebody who wants to learn about beekeeping.
Study the biology of the bee.
Yeah, he said to learn that first before you try to learn the keeping part of the bees. And that, I think that was like, I've never thought of it that way, but that's like the best possible advice you can know. And you're
right.
If all you're trying to learn about is like how to wire wax foundation and what kind of frames in the Apimay hive, and you don't know shit about how queens do what they do, or like what plants are and what they do with anything, you're just doing it backwards. And if you have a vaporizer before you know how to make a split, there's a problem.
Yeah, that was me. I got YouTube educated, right? I had a mentor, but I had watched so many YouTube videos before even getting a mentor, right? A local mentor that I was just like we talked about when you came on. I said, well, people do things the way that they've been conditioned and trained to do them, right? So maybe there is a better way. Maybe the treatment-free is a better way. But because I haven't been exposed to that I'm just not aware of it. It's not that I'm ignorant to it, right? So it's not that it's a choice that I may not ever make. It's just that I'm not familiar with that, because everybody on YouTube is talking about kill the mites, I'm kill the beetle guy. That's my thing. I want to kill the beetles.
It was just so interesting, like the way every question you asked, he didn't answer it right away. Like he didn't just he like took a deep breath and always smiled a little bit, and then would like try to, because you would ask him, hey, are you going to try the peppermint candies on the beetles? And he was like, That's the same thing.
Well, he also says that he doesn't. He said point blank, well, I'm not a beekeeper. Yeah. The only time I go in there is when we do splits and when we put honey supers on. Other than that, he don't really touch his bees at all.
Yeah.
And then what was it? Someone asked him about reversing boxes, and he said, I think it was Lee. asked him about reversing boxes. I don't even reverse anymore because in nature, the bees don't reverse themselves. They just figure it out. And when it's time to be at the bottom, they're at the bottom. When it's time to be at the top, they're at the top. And they just do it. You know,
it was cool. He's different from anybody else that comes on these bee talks.
Yeah, strangely enough, the way I got into beekeeping is because of video games. There's a game in which there's bees in it to gather resources for the game, and I'm the kind of guy that makes a lot of research on whatever's interests me.
like Roblox,
No, it was Minecraft with a mod.
Minecraft.
And one day, YouTube just suggested me a random bee video from Vinofarm. Found that interesting, watched one, then watched another, then watched his whole library at 2 times speed. And then I decided I wanted to be a beekeeper.
That's good.
I kind of looked around for mentors. There is no mentorship near my place. I learned everything from YouTube.
Well, what
Like Vinofarm, Ian Stepler, Barnyard Bees, Randy, Mr. Ed. I learned everything from those people. They're my teachers.
Yeah, I did too. Until I realized that if I'm watching a video some people put up in April, that I should have already maybe done that 3 weeks earlier or a month earlier. You know, just
mentoring is hard though. I mean, have any of you guys ever tried to mentor somebody in person?
I've actually got a mentee through Hives for Heroes, but twice he's scheduled to come out and twice he hasn't come out. So he got rescheduled for work and different things. So he hasn't been out here to my apiary yet.
Yeah, I think the way they used to do it, like in the 1990s and before, you would have to. It was probably easier to find a mentor then, but they didn't do it the way they do it now. You had to go to the person that was teaching you and learn with them for quite a while, and then at some point, maybe after a season, they might give you a nuke of bees. But lately, people who call me, they already have their empty hive. They already ordered their bees and they're pretty much on their doorstep and they didn't learn anything yet. And then they want the person to drive over to their place and answer the phone at all times of the day. Well, I'm elbow deep in a cutout somewhere and they're calling me like, I did this whole terrible thing. Was it wrong? How do I fix it? And it'll burn you right out trying to mentor people. They get the bees first. The bees are ordered first before they learn much of anything.
Yeah, I studied for a year before I bought my bees. Like every time I would hear a new term, like what the heck is trichial mite? What's varroa? What's small hive beetles? I would like do my research on each of those things. Same thing for nosema, etc., etc. I was, in a way, over prepared when I got my bees, but I had no experience. That's why I lost everything in the first year, which turned out to be a blessing in disguise, because there's no hive beetles over here. It's too cold. But the store I bought my bees from imported contaminated hives illegally. So by losing all my hives on my first year, it got rid of all the beetles. So, and I had all the comb too, so it made my second year a lot easier.
Wait, if your first year you lost them to beetles or swarming? The first
Swarming.
You said swarming.
But I had a beetle. I had them under control. Even the local minister of agriculture came and commended me on how well I was controlling them. But by the time fall came, by October, they had swarmed and swarmed and swarmed. One managed to requeen itself and it swarmed again. I was just not giving them enough space. And throughout that, I was dealing with the beetles correctly. They were under control. But by the time like October came, I just dumped all my bees and the beetles went with them.
Well, I was fortunate, I guess, that I didn't lose 100% of my colonies, but I lost, I don't know, whatever over half of them. I had 15 and 15 colonies, and some of them were in deeps, and some of them, well, they were all deeps, but some were in tent frames and some were in nukes. And I ended up only taking 4 nukes into the winter. And luckily, those 4 nukes did make it through the first winter. You know, I say winter. Winter here is not winter where you guys are, right? So, but they did make it, and then everything that I've gotten has come off of those 4 colonies, and you know, pretty happy with that. I mean, obviously, you look at some of my videos and people say, well, those aren't as strong as you know they should be, like for the Demaray. And then I have to go back and explain, yeah, but I started a Demaray, then I pulled frames out, right, with resources and robbed from them, which really set them back 3 weeks is what it did. So so we'll see. But I mean, every year is kind of like has been an experiment, because you're trying to push your bees to the limit that you can. If you're trying to get honey, you're trying to keep them as strong as you can without them landing in the trees for Bruce. And and you know, it's just it's one of those things, because I learned the first part about keeping them too weak, right, and getting them wiped out that way. And then the other extreme is keeping them too strong and then they fly off. So and honestly, I mean, the swarming is natural. I mean, that's a natural process for bees, swarming. So
I mean, you could just go into them like every 4 days and keep them from swarming if you wanted to have a big, giant, strong colony. But yeah, I can't do that. They're flying. I know they're gonna come out. I'm just chasing around. But like, just the last thing I would say about mentoring is, I don't blame the few people I talked to and I asked them to mentor me. I don't blame them for not taking me, because even then I probably would have done some of the same things people do to me now. But then also I'm glad they didn't take me, because then I'd just be keeping bees the way they do, and that's not interesting to me at all. So it worked out.
I've got a guy that I don't want to take credit for him getting into beekeeping, because I think you have to want to do that before, you know, you just see a swarm and all of a sudden you're in beekeeping. But he had a swarm in his neighbor's yard, and he asked me to come help him get it down, right? So I shook bees in a nuke for him, and then he started. And after that, I mean, he calls me when he's got questions, all the time. Like you're saying, anytime he's got a question, he just calls. No problem, no matter what you're doing, just what he's doing. And and
you busy? Okay, that's fine. Here, let me ask you 10 questions.
Yeah, and the thing is that I don't mind that, but what I do mind is when you ask me a question and then I see you post the same question in a
oh my god, yeah,
in a chat, like you just totally discounted what I said. Well, then just don't waste my time. Just ask them.
Yeah,
take their word for it. You'll get 50 responses over there.
Yeah, how did that happen to me? That happened to me that they asked me something and I said this is what I would do, and then the response was, oh, but this other guy told me I shouldn't do it because of that. I'm like, oh no, we ain't doing that at all. Like you're talking to somebody who I know, and I know they just started 2 years ago and they don't know what they're doing. So please don't ever say that name again. We all know each other here.
Well, yeah, I mean that's the thing. I mean, it's just like, again, it even goes back to like Facebook YouTube videos. You know, just because I watch a video and there's something on there that either I like or don't like about the way they're doing something, doesn't mean you have to do it. Yeah. You know, it doesn't mean that what they're doing is wrong. It just may not be what you want to do. And that's just kind of, I leave it there. I don't roast them. I don't call, you know, I don't.
That's what I say. What works for one person may not work for another, but it may work for the next 50 people. I mean, you don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
and it's all location too. What works up north ain't gonna work down south.
Well, some things, yeah, not everything. Like when someone asks me about swarm traps, I always say don't put honey in your swarm traps. And
It's a robin trap then.
And then right away it's why. It's like, man, I can't explain why every time. Just trust me. I learned the hard way by putting honey in swarm trap for a couple of years and just getting a bunch of ants. And yeah, but Joe caught a swarm in his trap and he had honey in it. Like, okay, well then go talk to Joe then. Stop bothering me.
Right. That's the only thing that really bothers me about that type of situation. I mean, obviously I answer the guy's questions but I mean, he says, okay, everybody in this group will know that honey is in all different shapes and colors, right? It just depends on what they're foraging, where they're at. I mean, a couple miles away, it can be different than yours.
Ranges to pretty much white to almost black. It's crazy the different colors you can get.
But this guy doesn't feed his bees at all, right? Or he stopped feeding them totally. He lives in a residential neighborhood, which is very much, older neighborhood where people got flowers out and it's very manicured, so he's got some tallow down there. I don't. I'm a few miles up the road, at least that I've seen. I've got mostly fields around me, similar to you, Bruce. I mean, I got woods, but on the other sides of those woods, farmers' fields, right? Yeah. And so it's a little bit different. So I'll get anything from white clear honey to this color honey to this color honey, just what time of the year it is, it's just, but he's like, oh, that's probably because you're feeding your bees. Yeah, possibly, I said, but I've got a problem in this yard because I've got nukes and then I've got doubles and triple deeps in the same yard. So I can't throw feed on a nuke without a triple deep getting hungry and really crushing them. At least that was the early spring problem here. So it's kind of like, now I'm just open feed a little bit and that's it. So if they need a little supplement to help draw out comb or whatever this time of year, they got to go get it from the chicken feeders, and I've really cut down from the first year where I had no drawn comb at all. And I was in all nukes, so I could just put a Boardman feeder on them and let them go. But it didn't work this spring with my splits. They got hammered. The big colonies hammered my splits and just robbed the crap out of them, which I guess I could have put a robin screen or whatever on them, reduce them.
What time of the year do they do that? In the springtime? You got robbing in the spring?
Right before it's not officially spring, like where stuff's starting to bud, where it really hadn't started to bloom yet. But I did, like I said, I did early splits, right? Because the weather was warm, and they just got pounded. They got hammered. The big colonies were like, "We'll take that, thank you."
Yeah, it's what they do here right before the nectar or the pollen starts hitting. If you're trying to feed them, sometimes the smaller colonies, the bigger ones that are looking for something, they'll take over that smaller colony trying to get that little bit of feed.
I think once dandelions pop here, I could run an extractor out in the middle of my yard with the lid off and bottle it in the middle of 50 hives, and there's not going to be a bee even bothering me whatsoever.
Are you serious?
Yes.
I've got a video that just whenever you got a extra second, which is probably never, but it's called That Escalated Quickly or something. It was like a single deep that I had extracted, and I set the box in the yard after I extracted it. Man, they went to town on that thing. I mean, it was like the fall when I put that thing out there, and they went to town on that box, cleaning it out.
Oh, you're right. I don't know if you can see this, but I was going to show you the variation of the honey here that I get, if it'll work.
Yeah, you should be able to share your screen, and then we'll just have to add it in.
Window, let me see. Maybe it's this one. Oh, yeah, there it is. Hopefully I don't show my password on here.
Just tell me. Yeah, there you go.
So there's a light one, but that's that. And I did both these jars in the same light, and then there's this lanternfly honey here. I don't know if you can see that. Like that's with a very bright flashlight behind it.
That's kind of like this used motor oil I got over here.
Oh, okay, you got it too. Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, it looks like used motor oil.
Yeah, it's friggin' black. And I've
And
never had that until a couple years ago.
and I mean, it's amazing. And you know, this guy that I was mentoring, well, I still am. I mean, I answer his questions and stuff and help him if he needs help. I'm not that kind of guy, but it just gets frustrating, you know. And he decided, well, I'm not going to do that. He's doing horizontals. So he literally has, I know right now, 2 horizontal hives right on his front porch. He's got like the concrete porch with the pillars going up the front, and he's got a horizontal hive sitting behind 2 bushes. So the UPS man, I mean, I know he's loving that when he comes to deliver a package. You know, comes up there and he's like, crap, there's bees everywhere. But yeah, he's doing that. But he'll call me about, well, how do I do this split and how do I do this? And then I say, well, I would do this, you know, like do a split because they're in that horizontal and let them share the heat and everything, because he's got the little discs where you can ventilate it. And but then he's calling me up and video chatting me where he's got all these virgin queens in roller cages now. And I'm like, what are you doing? Well, I just hashed them. Now, what do I do with these? Well, you need to know what you need to do with those before you make those. You know, that's kind of the process. You got to think ahead a little bit of what's going on. It's kind of like playing chess, right? You don't just make a chess move. You kind of try to plan out when you make a chess move what the next move is after they make their move. And, you know, it's one of those type of things. It's a mind game.
That's what I'm doing this year. About 2.5 to 3 weeks before the nectar flow is over, I'm going to start making some queens in the NICOT system. That way, as soon as the flow's over, I take all those supers off. Those bees got to go somewhere. They're not all going to fit in one box. So I'm going to make my splits and have the queens ready to either drop straight in or put a cell in there.
Well, I'm hoping my new queens, well, I know some of them are laying already from the other day, and give them a couple weeks delay, and then I'm going to start doing some walkaways with them with their eggs and some brood, and let them go. And that works here in the summertime. You could do it pretty well. I mean, you get a pretty good acceptance rate. I don't know what the exact one is, but once you have drones and the weather stabilizes, you know, 1 frame splits work here, 1 or 2.
I wanted to go back into my split that I made 2 weeks ago and check it. The video I did the other day where my queen come back and I marked her. I wanted to go in today to see if she started laying, but I figured I'd give her a couple more days before I try to mess with them again. I don't want to aggravate them too much.
It must have been a sign from the gods that I couldn't find my my yellow marking pin yesterday, because I have terrible luck marking queens. Terrible. To the point I just gave up. I don't even mark them anymore. And I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll just go try to mark some of these new queens. And I couldn't find the yellow, so I found it afterwards when it was raining. I'm like, yeah, that was a sign. I would have killed one of them again today.
Well, how do you kill them? Because are you using the plunger or something?
I was using that stupid the one-handed queen catcher deal.
Yeah, with the little slide on it.
Yeah, I've decapitated a queen in that thing before. I've pretty much killed them any way you could kill them, or they have flown off. You know, I've caught a swarm and decided, well, you know, I'll mark the swarm queen. Yeah, must have been too soon. Opened it up and she was like gone. I think she came back in the colony, but you know, that was first year stuff. And after that, I was like, you know, I'm only marking them for me. It's not helping the bees at all. It just helps me find her quicker.
My problem with marking queens was I was so careful and scared that it's worse when you're trying to be too careful. She's built just as tough as any other bee and just as tough as a drone. When you grab a drone, you don't hesitate. You just grab it and you squeeze it and you put it the way you want it in your fingers.
Right.
And you don't worry about hurting it ever. And then it just flies away like no big deal. You just got to grab a queen like that. I mean, you don't want to squeeze her abdomen, but you just got to grab like 10 drones in a row and do it. And then just grab the queen and do it and then put her right down.
That's what I said. If you want to learn how to catch queens, practice on the drones.
just like when your hands get all sweaty and you're getting all twitchy and you don't, your fine motor skills aren't working right. That's when you mess up.
This is my worst liability in beekeeping, because when I'm wearing my glasses and it's hot out and I got the veil on and I look down at a frame and then my sweat drips inside and then I can't see anything out of my glasses.
Yeah, same for me. And I'm bald, so extra sweat in my glasses.
And you leave your glasses off, then you can't see the eggs. It's like, I think there's an egg in there, you know.
You
It's
get
like,
you one of the little hand magnifying glasses.
yeah, that'd be my lucky. Well, when I was a kid, I used to like fry ants with magnifying glasses. Anybody that's in that'd probably be. I'd be, oh, there's the queen. She just burst into flames right there or something. That'd be my luck. That's just kind of the. So a lot of the colonies, I see eggs in evidence of a queen, and I'm like, yep, she's in there. Just close it back up, and as long as there's no, you know, I don't need to see her really, but it's always nice. I do make. I've made the same mistake 2 years in a row by making a split, and then the queen was on the frame that I split. That's happened twice.
I did that with 2 hives, make a split and move the queen, and she was marked.
Well, some people, that's the way they do them. They just move the queen and let the donor colony make queen cells, and
Well, what was bad about mine?
Wait, that's not how you do it?
that's how you do it.
I mean, that's not how you do it. That's how I do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Typically not. Usually what I'll do is I'll move a frame of brood and a frame, you know, hopefully with some eggs on it, and a frame of eggs to another box and let them make their own thing.
Oh, with no foragers or anything?
Yeah, just put a little feed on them, let them make it through, and they usually work. But
I do. What I'm doing is like I go to what I'll do probably Wednesday or Thursday. Go to the one location where I have 8 colonies and just make my first split with the queen. I'll make eight queen right splits and put them in my van to bring them home, and then with what's left, I'll divvy that up into 5 frame nukes. Just mixing everything together that I need, you know.
and that way they have 4.
1 food, 2 brood, you know, a partial and then an empty, so they have plenty of room so I can. Because I'm stressed out about meeting all my nuke orders all on the same day, but then you just nuke the whole yard, and I mean, then you're good. And as long as I bring all those queen right nukes home, then they'll keep their foragers, you know, some of them.
Now, what kind of queen success are you having with return on the virgin queens?
Oh man, I've never really kept track of that too much.
You just
I
go
would
back
be
to
just
the queen or
randomly
not a
guessing.
queen?
Right? Yeah, I'll check it. Just keep checking them till I have something going on, and if one of them is just a total failure, I can usually find a cell somewhere in another one. And if I have to do it all over again, I just do it all over again. Give them, you know, frame with eggs in it.
Well, we're already starting to get dragonflies around here, and they love queens.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
dragonflies.
get those like late summer. Definitely tons of dragonflies, like all over the place.
I
They
hadn't seen
will.
it here yet.
I saw one today when I was filming that video, and they will tear a queen up when it's on its mating flight.
We get these flocks of swallows. Do you get those?
Mm.
Like,
The type of bird, they just swoop, and there'll be 1,000 of them will show up. It just like a whole swarm of birds, and they just zoom across the yard, in and out, up and down, all big circles, and they just hang out for like an hour or two, and then they disappear, and then they come back every day.
that's because they're eating all your
yeah.
foragers.
They're eating them all. Yeah, they're just eating them or whenever you mow the lawn and kick all the bugs up, they come and they just skim across the ground like 3 inches off the ground, all over the place.
Grabbing them all up.
Yeah, they're the worst.
Yeah, Ian Stepler's had crow problems. They were punching through the plugs and eating the bees straight from the nests.
Right on the top of them?
Yeah,
Like the feeder plug?
yeah, the yellow plug for the feeders.
Yeah.
The crows were at first they would just remove the plug, so Ian inverted them, plugging them from the bottom. Then they just punched through and ate bees from the hives.
This is what I done on my new yard, and I'm starting to do on all my other ones. My feeder plug that's in the top, I put the plug in, and then I put a small brick on top of that to keep that plug covered up. That way I don't have to worry about it.
Is that your swarm trap hanging in the tree right there?
Yeah, and they actually had some scouts flying in and out of it today.
Right there. That's pretty close.
Well, I'd set that trap up about a month and a half ago before I even put all them hives there. I just put the hives there today. So I figured if I catch a swarm, I'd bring it back here to my house, get them to reorientate, and then take them back over there 4 or 5 days later.
That'll work.
That's his new yard he's setting up. Doesn't have any bees in it yet.
I'm going to go ahead and say this here again because we got a few more people in now. If you like these hive tools right here, I'm almost to 100 subscribers on my channel. I've got 2 of these still in the package, and I have a Daydant smoker, the 4-inch by 10-inch Daydant smoker in the mail on its way now. One day this week after I hit 100 subscribers, I'm going to do 2 drawings. The first drawing will be a hive tool and a smoker, and the second drawing will be the smoker or a hive tool by itself. And this is the smoker.
Can I win?
So if anybody's interested, just sub. I'll probably put out a video tomorrow just talking about the 100 subscriber giveaway. Leave a comment on that video, and that'll get your name entered in the drawing.
How many are you up to now? 93. You need 7. Hold on, let me refresh. Maybe you got some since we've been going.
98 right now.
Oh man, 2 more. You're gonna get those during this live stream.
Yeah, like I said, I'll probably put a little video out tomorrow. Anybody go watch it, leave a comment. That'll enter your name in the drawing. And Tuesday night when we do our live stream, I'll spin the wheel with everybody's name on it.
You know what? I'll even sweeten it up. I've got another thing of the crushable Swarm Commander vials. So when you get to 100, you're gonna do the giveaway on the stream, on the live stream. Like
If
a
I
Tuesday night stream?
100 before then, I'll put the video out tomorrow, leave a comment on that, and then I'll do the giveaway Tuesday night on our stream.
All right, and then to number 3, the 3rd winner, I'll give away on your behalf, a pack of the crushable Swarm Commander vials.
William said he's going to make 2 fake accounts. Enter his
Nah.
name.
No, not giving away my license extractor. No, I haven't even used it yet. I got to use it first. I need to buy it, man. I should have never won on that trade, man. Because now that money's like sitting there waiting for beekeeping prices to like hit me in the face that I need this and need that. I need that bottling tank. I need my unbottling tank, as Lee likes to keep sticking me with. But yeah, I got to get one of those for sure.
I just want to say hi to my buddy there, Craig from Liberty Bell Beekeepers. I think it's his first time in here. What's up, man?
Hey,
I told him when 628 Dirt Rooster was going to be on, I said, you got to get over and watch this, but I don't know if he made it over that day. I don't know. I don't remember.
I saw him on. I think I saw him. I don't think it was on one of ours. Does he watch the either Cayman Reynolds live streams or the stream team?
I'm not sure. I don't know.
I've seen him on Bruce's Bees streams.
Yeah, it might have been Bruce's Bees then. Peppermint patty giveaway. York peppermint patties. I've got some. I still got some. The Swarm Commander. Hey, here I'll tell you what. We'll do a raffle at $10 a ticket, but we got to sell at least $5,000 worth of tickets, and I'll box it up and send it back to the winner. By that time, actually, that's not bad. If we had enough people that entered at $10. Of course, if 10 people entered at $10, I could buy 2 of them and give 2 away. But so really, I've just been kind of in a holding pattern until this week because with the temperature drop and everything, I'm just kind of letting them stay sealed and do their thing. They got out today pretty good, so I didn't want to really mess with them today. and Lee got out and was working in his yard. And you said you got it coming up this week. You're going to be out there doing splits and stuff, right?
Yeah, later, maybe Wednesday and Thursday. But yeah, tomorrow is the one I'm not looking forward to. Is trying to get these bees to abscond out of a big ass tree, big old. I went and bought a endoscope, camera, so I can drill a hole.
I got one. Yeah, I got one of those.
Got
I
to
bought mine
twist it.
actually at Harbor Freight. I got it from Harbor Freight.
I was mostly just,
It works pretty good. It's even got a it's even got like a SD card so you can film it.
Yeah, well, this one I went and bought a tablet just for it, so I can film the whatever I'm videoing. So far, it just works like up my nose and down my throat. I was practicing a little bit with the light. Really disgusting. I never knew what was up there.
I got one that I'd ordered on
fits.
Amazon before. It got like a little 5-inch screen, and I think it's a 12 or a 14-foot wire on it for the camera. Now, I've used that to run in a wall down a check a hive out.
I see, but Lee's got all the tools. He's got the FLIR. You got a FLIR too, Bruce? You got
No,
a
I
FLIR?
don't have that. No.
He's got the little FLIR that he puts on his phone. I don't have a FLIR.
Yeah, if I need a FLIR to find out where the bees are at, I'm not doing it. I'm calling somebody else. It's just
Well, I've seen times where you got a little hole in the wall and you're expecting the bees to be right there, but they might go in that hole and travel 4 foot down to another stud section, had a little hole in the stud they went through, and then you cut the wrong area.
yeah.
That's the only reason I really wanted the FLIR.
Yeah, I just cut the stud out too.
I mean,
Support
it'd be nice-
bees. Who cares?
It'd be nice to have one in the winter just to look at, walk through the yard and look at your boxes and see which ones are dead or alive. But
Yeah.
I just haven't got around to getting one.
Are those things? If I don't have one, I mean, is it? You think it'd be It also show you pretty much how big the cluster is in there too, right?
Yeah.
To a point, yeah. I mean, it'll give the radiation signature on the front of the box or whatever side you're looking at.
Y'all got me wanting to spend this money.
Yeah, I've seen other people's. And
Come on, Bob, you need a FLIR 1 Pro.
I don't get enough swarm removals or swarm calls or anything, which surprises me because a lot of people know that I keep bees. On this one group has like 8,000 members in it, and it's right our local community. That's the people that buy my honey typically out of that group. And I made a post. If you guys see any of these, and a picture of a swarm, call me. I'll come and get it. And nothing, nada. Only the church came by when they bought honey and told me, "Oh yeah, your friends are back in the column over there. Yeah, they're going to be there because I'm not drilling through your cinder block to try to smoke them out."
did you make a bee removal Facebook page? Walker Bee Ranch Facebook with your number on it?
I do have a Walker Bee Ranch Facebook page, but I don't know if I posted on there about swarm removal or not.
Yeah, man. If you Google swarm removal in my town, my Facebook page comes up like right there, my website, everything. I try to stay on there. So anybody looking for bee removal, they're going to get me most of the time around here.
Did you just put that in the description of the page?
Well, you set it up. You just set it up and put plenty of like bee removal content on there. Just some pictures of bees and, your location so that when people search, your area,
Let me see.
they'll come up and see your phone number. It's just like any searchable website, I would guess.
Yeah, I'll have to look through there and see if I need to edit something because I definitely have a Facebook page, but I don't know if it's got. I know it's got my address and stuff on it too. So
I could show you mine. Let me see if I can find it on here. Blue. Whoop, wrong one. Where the heck?
let's see.
No. Huh. Oh, there it is.
And my one review was actually on a swarm removal. March 28th of 2020.
Here, this is my corny. It's kind of corny, but I'll just show you how simple it is here on Facebook. I don't know if you can see. Can you see that?
Add it in. Hold on. There we go.
Oh, there it is. So just give it something like that. That's my, I put my little bee TikToks on there. Showing just a couple of videos. And, they can contact me a bunch of ways. They can, my location's on there, my number. And that's what a lot of people call me from. They say, I saw you on Facebook, and this is usually what they see.
They just do a search on Facebook or on Google in general, and it comes up.
It'll come up either way. Yeah.
All right, maybe I need to make a separate one that has that on it. The other one more like honey.
Like honey sales. Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's just basically for my bee yard, but generally people when they come on there, they're there because of my honey. I say, well, I posted in there first, and that's when they, usually join the page. But like this one, let me see. I gotta share my screen. Share. This is nothing compared to what you guys do as far as. I think this is it. Yeah, it's a little swarm shook out of a tree out of somebody's yard on that page.
Yeah, it's a good picture, and that's something you'd put on there. See this? Call me. Boop, right there.
And just a few things like that, and then let me see. Mainly just a lot of YouTube stuff, different honey.
Yeah, there's a live the other night.
So I had 1,500 subscribers on February 20th, and now almost at 17. So getting better. We're going up, going big time. Right. But you guys didn't know that Bruce is TikTok famous.
I don't watch TikTok.
Yeah.
Now, what's the major difference between? TikTok's like short videos, right? Like shorts.
Yeah.
Up to 3 minutes. You can make a video up to 3 minutes, which sometimes that's a long time for TikTok. So most of my videos are maybe a minute and a half, 2 at the most.
How many followers do you have on TikTok now?
34,200, I think.
That's impressive.
You should drop them your YouTube link. If you want to see the full video.
Man, that's what I do, but TikTok people are very stubborn. They like TikTok. They do not want to go to YouTube. In fact, TikTok blocks you if the algorithm hears you saying the word YouTube, or if you put it in your description or comments, that just disappears, or nobody will see it.
Really?
So you have to be really slick. And
go to the YT.
Huh?
Go to the YT.
Yeah, I'll be like, no, I have this other platform. It's kind of, they don't fall for it.
That's I've watched some TikTok videos, but I don't even think I have it on my phone. To be honest with you.
It's cool. Once they start paying you correctly for content, then that'll be nice. But
so on 30,000 subs, like how many views do you usually get on your videos, or does it show it that way? I don't even know.
I can look at it right now. Let me see. That's another weird thing. Like I have one with almost 2 million views, but it's so random. Like in order is 2,000, 1.7 million, 8,000, 800, 8,500, 200. It just goes up and down. It doesn't really matter what it's about.
Yeah, I've put a YouTube short up of just a bee on a flower with a little bit of music in the background, 2,000 views. I'm like, what the hell?
It's random. You gotta really hook them in the first 4 seconds, and they have to like the video. And if they do that, then it just seems to blow up. I can usually tell when I do a good one. Like I did one where I was removing some comb out of a barrel that the bee's been in for like 40 years, and that got 40,000 views in like 8 minutes. It was insane. Like it just got picked up so quickly. And then, of course, the one I did the next day got like 400 views.
But do they pay as terrible as Facebook does?
Oh no, Facebook actually pays the best.
Really?
Pays more than YouTube.
YouTube don't pay crap.
I know, but yeah, no, TikTok doesn't pay nearly, at least not at 34,000. Maybe once I get 1 million. I mean, if that would ever happen, but then that would be good.
There's also Rumble I've been considering using.
Rumble, do they pay as well?
I do not know. I think they pay well, but the honest answer is I don't know.
Well, YouTube, I mean, now I'm not a big YouTuber, so it's not like I'm making any kind of huge money, you know. I've gained in the last 28 days 147 subs. This month I've had 12,900 views, almost 2,000 watch hours, and it says my estimated revenue is $65. Now that also incorporates in super chats and stuff like that, which sometimes on the live streams, Castle Hives would drop $10 or something like that in there. I think it was $25 on the Mr. Ed video or something like that the other night, but that's not too often. So probably 30 to $40 is kind of like an average, and you have to have $100 before you can cash it out. So it's 3 to 4 months before you even get anything, if you're consistent. So it's not even. It's like I could go out and Uber for 2 hours and make that much money and not make any content and save myself like hours and hours and hours a month, you know? So it's not like for the money, it's not worth it, but just to hang out and talk. Yeah. That's, you know,
I was thinking that video Yappy did that has 25 million views.
The one where he shook it down on the truck. Is it that one?
And I don't know. It's the one that's like, you'll never believe how many bees or something like that. You know, the one that has 25 million views is like the biggest one ever. But he, just think of that. I mean, that's like $3 per 1,000 times 25,000. I mean, just a rough number for one video. That's pretty big. I mean, to me,
Be my luck. That video would have went up like before I got monetized.
That'd be my luck.
So, well, you know, but still yet, after you become monetized, those old videos, if people come back and watch them, if you turn monetization on for them, then, you know, you're going to get something. So it does kind of grow over time. I mean, I got a video. It's sad, but it's true. In the last 48 hours, my third top performing video is one I did in 2017 that had nothing to do with beekeeping. And it's got 88 views in the last 48 hours. And it's just dumb. Yeah.
I'm still 901 people away from even being monetized. I gotta wait.
900. Oh, you need one more to hit your golden 100.
Yep. If I hit that 100, I'll post a video tomorrow about the giveaway, and then we'll do the draw on Tuesday night on our live.
Well, that sounds like a winner. Just need some more. Need some more people.
Yeah, just post some shorts.
But does TikTok pay better than YouTube does, or about the same?
No, right now it's oh my god, it's much less. I mean, they don't really have a set, any type of set scale at all whatsoever. It's random. It's totally random. Like maybe if you're really, really popular and are verified and have your check mark, you might get more than somebody who just has a couple thousand, but it's very low. It's extremely low. Mostly on TikTok, the most money you make is with sponsors and like partnerships with brands and things like that, which I haven't been contacted by anything like that.
Me neither. Matter of fact, the people that I've contacted, they're like, you're too small, basically. So then it's like, well, if I ever do hit it big, you'll be the last guy on the list, buddy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's another thing I remember. I'm going to remember that. Like, I'm going to remember that.
They are to think whether you're small or you're big, it's still getting their name out there in of some form or another.
Right.
Well,
I mean,
guys,
I've got a discount code for that Hive Alive stuff. I had it before Brian. Matter of fact, I think Brian went to their. It's an affiliate code that you sign up for on their website, so you don't have to get permission from them or anything like that. You just register for it, and then they send you a discount code.
that's cool.
So it's not a thing. But if you order Hive Alive and use discount code Robert10, you'll save 10% on your order there.
One thing you guys have for yourselves is you can make videos during winter. I can't really. I've made 2, and that was kind of pushing it because there's not much you can show besides a frozen wasteland. I can't open the hives, and there's a limited amount of stuff I can talk about while the bees are just waiting for winter to get done with.
You can go live and just talk, have a bee chat.
Yeah, that's what we do.
That's what we do. About to say that, or you can make a couple of extra videos during the year and just
Well-
kind of stockpile them back, even though it's a little different time period. I mean, you can say, hey, this is something that I didn't show before that I done in my yard.
Yeah,
Well,
makes sense.
a lot of what I was doing, like I try when it's like bad weather or something. That's when I try to show this is what I'm doing on the honey house, or this is what I'm doing on with my frames, or something like that. Or especially, to be honest with you, I don't like to put out videos when it's the same stuff that all the time, the same thing that everybody else is doing. That's one reason why I did the Demarate, because not that many people do it. And it was something different than today we're splitting the hives. Today we're putting a pollen patty on. Today we're doing oxalic acid. Today
Hey, have you ever tried to eat bees before? You ever grill them up? The drone
no,
bees?
you'll never see me doing that grilled drone brood thing. I saw somebody do that. I forget who it was that
No, it was probably me, and I'm gonna do it again in a couple days.
the grilled drone brood.
Yeah, where I put it on the fire, I wrapped it up, and then I unwrapped it and cooked it, and it was really good. It was really, really good. You never had that?
No,
I
never
mean,
will.
never try
Never
Drone
will try it.
brood or drones.
Drone brood.
drone brood. It was just a piece of burr, drone brood on the inner cover that I just cut off, and it was perfect. It was like fresh. It wasn't old comb, and I just wrapped it up in aluminum foil, put it on a fire, and let it cook for like 5 minutes, and then took it in the house and ate it. And I was expecting to gag and like throw up, but I couldn't believe how good it was. So it was just, I don't know, it was great.
Did
I
you
want
put
to
any butter or sauce on it or anything? Some seasoning?
No, I didn't put anything on it. And that was what was shocking. It had so much flavor. It really tasted like just the most tender steak you ever eat. It was just really, really good.
Didn't
I'll
the wax?
word for it.
Sorry.
I said, I'll take your word for it.
Yeah.
It might need a little bit of Tabasco or something on it, but it tasted really good.
Hey, Bob, that discount code you got for Hive Alive, that's 10% off, and the code's Robert10.
Yep. Robert 10.
Something. Oh, hold on. Don't want
And there's another video game while y'all are talking about beekeeping video games. It's called Boss Beak, Boss Beak, BEEK, and it's $4.99 on the Microsoft Store. So I actually played it on a live stream and shared it. And you've got an apiary, and basically you do different tasks, right, in the apiary. And like you set a hive stand, and then you've got to it's like a tree, right? You click on the box, you got to add bees, add frames, add supers, and you got to work up the tree. And then once you get to that point, it starts generating honey and cash flow for your operation. So after about 5 minutes, you've seen it all, but it was pretty neat to play with for $5,
Yeah, I hooked you up on the bottom of the screen there, Bob.
Oh, cool. Thanks. Now, if someone actually use it, because nobody has used it so far.
What is that stuff again? What is it? I don't even know what it is.
That Hive Alive, you've never seen
I've
Castle
heard of
Hive?
it a million times, but is it food? Is it
It's
just
a food. They've got a food additive. They've got a pollen patty, and they've got a fondant.
Oh, so that's just the
It's
company
Bruce's
name.
favorite drink.
Yeah, and that's what they've been doing shots of Hive Alive. They said it's real nasty. Like, well, Greg actually drank a whole
Bottle.
$30 bottle of it that somebody sent him. He just shotgunned it and killed the whole thing the other day.
The lights kind of went out though, and some weird creature come back, but he drank it.
He's gonna have royal jelly coming out of his butt apparently after
Yeah.
eating all that.
Well, he'll never get Nozema.
Yeah, Brian from Castle Hive said he tested negative for Nozema afterwards.
Yeah. Yep, Bobby, you heard that correctly. Grilled drone brood is the thing.
Yeah, I have. Just look up Swarmstead Drone Brood. You'll find it. It'll be right there at the top. It's delicious. I want to see if I can maybe sneak it into my dad's like rice and beans or something. See if he knows.
Remind me to never come to a barbecue at your place. Be
Well,
like,
some cultures eat grubs like that.
Oh,
Large,
yeah.
like large beetle grubs.
Mhm.
and I'm
That's
not.
where-
It might be delicious, but I'll just never know. I'll just never know. That'll
That's
be.
where I got the idea from seeing that on other cultures eating them. So they seem to like them. So
I was watching one video that was eating the big grubs, and they said it had like a peanut butter flavor to it. I still can't try it.
Ugh, no, not happening. There's not enough honey on this table to take that taste out of my mouth. And it could be really delicious. Have you ever tasted caviar?
me,
Yeah,
yeah,
So-
when I was a kid.
I've tasted caviar, and it's supposed to be this great stuff, right? It's highfalutin, whatever. But to me, it just tastes like the nastiest fishy thing it could be. And I'm not a big fish eater to begin with, but that's just, you know.
I'll eat raw oysters now.
I tried that. Sometimes things just won't go down. Like I had a raw oyster in my mouth for like a half hour. I could not get it to go past my tongue. It just didn't taste bad. It just would not go down.
Some of them, the more you chew, the bigger it gets too.
Yeah, just I fluffed it up, I guess. I don't know.
Earl said, "Okay, bye." Was he? He heard about the drone, but he's like, "Okay, bye." Earl,
That's Peppermint Earl, man. Don't
All right,
go.
guys,
man.
I'm gonna have to leave y'all for the night. I'm gonna let y'all stay in here and keep on chatting, do what y'all.
Oh man, I'm getting ready to head out too.
I gotta
I just,
go finish some stuff up, get my shower, and I gotta get up at 4:00 in the morning.
All
But
right, well, it was really nice chatting with you guys.
yeah.
you Grange?
Hey, LaGrange, get your camera fixed.
Hey, I'll take.
Dig it out from the pile of bee stuff. It should work as a web camera, but it's somewhere in the house.
I got you.
All right, I'll pop off so you guys can sign off. Thanks for having me in.
Yeah, anytime. Hey, you didn't mind us jumping on your stream the other night, did you? When we popped in?
No, anytime. You can come in.
Yeah, we were trying to like railroad you, and both of us jump in at the same time.
That was cool because I was like getting kind of like bored and I was getting ready to get out anyway. And you guys came in and helped me go on for like an hour after that. So that was good.
You know, we can talk.
You know,
All right. Well, yeah, guys. So I guess that's going to be about it for tonight. Lee's got to get his beauty sleep.
yeah, I did a lot of that.
All right. Have a good night. Thank you.
Too. Thank you.
Look, Grange,
But-
thank you.
But yeah. So yeah, have a nice chat, guys. Tonight, hour and about 2 hours. We still went 2 hours tonight.
I think our shortest so far was an hour and 57 minutes, though.
Oh, so do we have to beat that, or do we trying to beat the low record tonight?
Let's go for the low record. See if we
All
can do
right.
it.
All right, guys and girls. Well, thank you for tuning in. Hey, I think you're at 100 now.
I'm actually at 102, I'm showing. But anybody else that's in here, don't forget, subscribe to Kodiak Farms. I'll put a video out tomorrow about a 100 subscriber giveaway. Leave a comment on that video, and you'll enter for the drawing on the Tuesday Night Live.
And we're going to give away some free stuff.
Got a brand new hive tool and a Date Ant 4x10 smoker.
And
And the Swarm Commander vials from
that's
Bob.
right. We're going to do that. So, all right, guys, have a good night. Thank you for sitting with us for the last 2 hours, and we'll see you next time.
Y'all have a good one. Good night.
Good night.